A way of life. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Just wanted to come on here to do my career series, something I've been working on for quite some time now, and I'm really excited to get it out there. I will be doing careers for the sign Libra, careers for the seventh house, which is where Libra lives, careers for the planet Venus, which is ruled by Libra, and careers for the MC. I'm trying to keep the careers most relatable to the current energies and transformations that's going on right now. We are going through a huge shift, the ending of an entire decade, as well as if some of the careers don't. If you listen to this as a Libra and you don't really relate to some of those, I'm going to talk about why that is. So I'm just going to jump right on in. Libras are all about balance of the scales. These individuals are diplomatic, sociable, charismatic, and work really well with other people. They love excitement, new situations, and adventure. They're able to make friends with people from all walks of life. That is probably the truest statement ever. Um, and they're always eager to try something new and exciting. Um, Anything to do with enthusiasm, Libras are like all over it. That's their baseline energy is being enthusiastic, especially when it comes to partnerships. Um, they don't like to be bored or slow work environments. They need excitement and contact with people. Libra, some of the careers that come with the sign Libra are lawyer, mediator, diplomat, and social worker. Seventh house careers are related to diplomacy, banks, clients, consulting, contracts, law, politics, partnerships, business, and spouse or working with your spouse. Some of the careers that come with the seventh house are banking, business, client-based professions, consultant, contractors, judge, lawyer, political careers, working in partnerships with somebody. Um, I had a client, I just wanted to like give you this example. Uh, right now with this Taurus and Uranus energy, we're breaking everything down into these practical ways of doing and thinking. So brick and mortars are not going to be as popular at about 8 years from now. We're talking about an 8-year transit. We're going to see this coming down the pipeline. I was reading something yesterday where they're thinking about getting rid of ATMs and or how to use ATMs differently with the bitcoins and all that. It's going to be very, very interesting. But I just wanted to break down and give you an example of how somebody would start from going to banking and all the different fields that they have in banking. Um, I had a woman who worked at Dunkin' Donuts. She was there for like 10 years doing cashiering and, whatever else they do at Dunkin' Donuts. And she was thinking, I don't think I qualified to get a job in a bank, but that's what she really, really wanted to do. She was very passionate about doing banking. She liked working with money. She liked counting money. And what most people don't know is, as a banker, you also have to do some marketing for sales for products that they're selling. And so when I explained this to her and I gave her some mock interviewing around how to do that, and whether she could do it or if it was even something she'd be interested in incorporating, she was very eager to explain they do the same thing at Dunkin' Donuts, right? When you go to Dunkin' Donuts, anytime they got a new coffee, they're always advertising for that. Oh, would you like to try our new? Okay, so she had it down packed, right? Cashiering for 10 years, just being able to sell herself was the main goal. She had went through a few interviews and she got really discouraged. She was not feeling like she was going to get the job finally. Somebody hired her at a bank. She is now a bank teller. And I'm going into that and I'm saying all that because I work with these people all day. I am a Libra rising. So partnerships is something that I am very passionate about. I take very seriously. And I work with bankers. I work with, the the people who have to go out, the recruiters for banking. And whether we're aware of it or not, some of these jobs that are going to become obsolete are going to be, banking is going to be one of them. That's going to break down into these smaller, more practical ways of doing. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm working with somebody right now who it was almost like pulling teeth to get a meeting with this guy who is opening up a new bank, and we wanted to be some of the first ones to help him get some people into his bank, right? So they had came to our office and seen what we do on our practice interview days when we sit down, and it's like a whole process where we have volunteers come in and our clients go around and do real mock interviews to each and every one of these volunteers who come in, who have backgrounds from all walks of life, so they get the best of experience. And they loved it. But then when it came time to meet up with these people, it was almost nearly impossible. So finally we had our boss call and say, hey, look, they're giving us a really hard time to try to meet with them. And what we found out when she called them is that they're going through this transformation process. I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I just want people to be aware and be very intelligent about this process that's going on. It's not that banking is not popular anymore. It's very needed. However, America is in debt. And nobody is acknowledging that. That's not something that's out in the public. So people really just don't know. Like, if you walk into a bank and you got a line halfway out the door and you don't understand why, why don't they just hire new people? Well, there's policies and procedures around that, and if they can't afford to do any of those things, then that causes a bigger problem. Not to mention real estate is even way more in demand, so some of the jobs that they need even more than tellers are the relationship banker positions, and the consultant positions in banking. Those jobs are becoming more and more high demand because a lot more people are applying for loans, a lot more people are buying homes, a lot more people are buying land and property. So when I'm prefacing this to give a really good, clear example of how it's not so much that we may not be aware of the change, but we can feel it, right? Like the body knows. We have a saying in the spiritual community, as above, so below. So if all the stars, sun, moon, and planets are up there, they're also in here within you. Every planet, every sign stands for a certain body part and, organ or whatever works in our bodies, right? So that's the purpose of as above, so below. Whatever is going on as above is also happening within you. Even if you can't explain it, you can't talk about it, you can't describe it, and you don't know what it is, it doesn't matter, right? You are getting these signals of things that are happening or feelings that you're no longer going to be drawn to because internally, intuitively, you know that there's a change coming, and it is coming. Right, so I'm doing these videos both to enlighten people, to get people to think and be outside the box. As a career coach, I do this stuff every day. I'm not even going to begin to tell you some of the conversations that we're having with a lot of the partnerships that we have right now. People are changing the way that they do things because they, for one, can't afford to do some of the things that they've been doing, and they need to break down those practical ways of doing things, Taurus and Uranus. And for two, nobody's interested in them anymore because, again, internally, intuitively, we know there's a change coming. So the bigger field is going to be in technology. Again, Taurus and Uranus. You should watch my Taurus and Uranus video where I give highlights and talk more about this change that is coming. It's not what you do, it's the way you do it. That's going to be the new slogan for 2020. It's not what you do, it's the way you do it, right? We need to be more innovative, Uranus, right? Think outside the box, get more creative on the way we're doing things. And businesses and people are going to be more open to doing things like that. We're also going to have this really big focus on earthly things, paper, resumes, cover letters. These things are going to be non-existent pretty soon. I'm doing research now, and I'll be posting about this stuff as I get more information on it. But you can also just like Google these certain changes that are coming down, like AI. What kind of jobs are coming with AI? How are you relating to that? Is that something you think you'd be interested in? And creatively thinking, how could I invest in that as a worker or an entrepreneur? Because jobs really aren't going to be a big thing for quite some time. We are going to go through a period where we transition, and it's going to be turmoil. But we'll get it together and figure it out, and then there'll be new jobs and things for people to do. But I can almost guarantee you all those things will be technically related, technical related. Computers, all those fields is going to be what's big. And everybody will have a part to play in that, but it would be really good to have a career coach or somebody that knows what's going on in the fields. We can already see the changes coming down the pipeline. And again, this is not to be in fear of anything, right? Just being proactive instead of reactive. We are being forced to be smarter and get ahead of the curve. So, when you think about if you're a cashier and you want to do something bigger, for one, banks are really good at training. They will train you and get you certified in your license. It's not something that necessarily you have to have education for. Not knocking education, but remember, we are going through a transition. If somebody needed 10 people real fast and they don't have those 10 people with educations, they'll make a way. Right? So remember, we're being more creative, open-minded, and thinking differently about the way we even hire people and for the reasons why we're doing that. Okay? So, just knowing your skills, having a good resume will allow you to see your transferable skills and where you can move and what direction and what different fields. Knowing these things will be really helpful moving forward, but you can move your way up in a bank too. You want to be in places where you can move up and you're not staying stagnant. And I'm being 110% transparent when I say there's nothing wrong with being a teller. But what I'm telling you is those positions eventually will not exist anymore, right? So when I say some place where you can transition into something higher is not to downplay what you are already doing. A teller is a damn good job. I love my teller at my bank. But, just remember there's a transition going on. So you want to think more proactively and not have to be in a position where you're being reactive and how you change your positions if it's something that needed to happen. Okay? I had to get that out. So that was a little long-winded, but I just wanted to give an example. For one, what career coaches do, what they're good for, and two, just to be aware of these changes that will eventually be coming down the line. So some of the careers that come with the planet Venus, which is ruled by Libra or that rules Libra, are architects, artists, healers, musicians, creative jobs, political science. Real estate is going to be absolutely out of control. If you can get your real estate license, it's kind of one of those things you can even just jump into. I did a video, no, I didn't do a video on that. I did a blog. I blogged about the different jobs that came down through generation of each sign. And I think it was the sign of Scorpio that included, that was the start of Uber and partnerships in that kind of way. Remember, Scorpio is also a partnership sign. Partnerships more so sexually when it comes to relationships, but on the other end of partnerships with other people, other entities, other businesses, governments, other partnerships with other people. It focused on the start of Uber. I can almost guarantee you, I'm in. I have my foot in almost every door you can possibly think of, and at some point, real estate is going to be like Uber, where people will be willing to give their space to rent out for money. The same way we do with our cars, right? Jump on it. You're not going to need no training. You'll want to get training, right? Because you have to know how to talk. But it's not one of those things where you have to go to school to be educated in such a way. You just have to have an entrepreneurship spirit, be willing to learn, and know how to speak well, and be passionate about what you're selling, right? So, and there are many different places you can go to get that type of education, including banks. They will teach you about this stuff. I think they have a job called relationship partner, and banking. Don't quote me on that. Relational skills, social science, educational jobs, and designers and finance. So these are the careers that come with the planet Venus, and I can almost guarantee you, real estate and finances will be at the forefront. Finances is going to change though. We're not going to have paper currency anymore. And it's not to say not anymore, but it won't be the main mode of, trading anymore. Like, I think at some point it used to be coins, right? And then coins changed to paper, but people still have coins, right? So, but it's not, the word I'm trying to use, it's just not going to be the main operatum, right? I think I spoke about this in one of my videos. You'll have to forgive me, I don't remember which one, but the cryptocurrency is gonna be the way to go. But it'll be like, they have something called the wallet in cryptocurrency, but it's digital. Right, so that'll be your form of money. It won't be paper currency anymore. It'll all be digital. So at some point, or sooner rather than later, taking some kind of education in technology is going to be super, 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 super important. Almost like math, science, and writing. It's going to be that important. And for the midheaven in your birth chart is your MC. So wherever house your MC sits in, if you have it in the sign of Libra, this will relate to jobs for you. Psychologists, therapists, lawyers, interior designers, architects, judges, musicians, and diplomats. I think Bill Clinton's wife was a diplomat. I don't know why. I can never remember that woman's name. I just know that's messed up. I just know her as Bill Clinton's wife. But she was a diplomat. But yes. If this is something that you as a Libra are listening to and you feel like I don't relate to any of these jobs, the reason that probably is because there are 3 deacons in each sign. So you have your early degree Libras, middle Libras, and your late degree Libras. And so if you're a Libra, if you're an early degree Libra, then you're a Libra Virgo cusper. And so you might relate more to the Virgo jobs. The middle degree Libras probably relate all the way to what I'm saying. Or if you're a late degree Libra, then you're a Scorpio Libra cusper, and you'll probably relate more so to the Scorpio jobs. And it also matters, in what degrees you have your placements in. You could have more planets in one other sign that is not your sun sign that you'll relate more to. So the Libra jobs might not play such a big role, in your life. But I would always check your rising sign, which is whatever is in your first house, your sun sign, and your moon sign. I would listen to all three of those videos because what it does is it brings it all for full circle. So that wraps up this session for Libra. Peace.